Hey guys, welcome to today's stream. Alright, so timeline of events. Leading into champs, I don't know. There was just like our team LG had like some small issues with things. That was like
Any primers?
not related at all to the end game, but like out of game. That I wasn't really a part of. Like, I don't know. There was like, I'm not going to bring up anybody else's stuff, but like there was some things that were like kind of like capping our team chemistry, which is like kind of annoying. But we kind of worked past it, man. I mean, not gonna lie. I don't know if you anyone that watched our group stage, you would know like we were just kind of like trolling, right? People were making stupid mistakes, just like dying, and like we like kind of like locked in for the bracket stages and like made the most of it. But yeah, kind of like the whole like last month or two of Apex for champs, I was like mostly annoyed because there were some things that were completely out of my control that I couldn't fix to members of the team. So I was like, the entire time that's happening, I'm just like, because we were actually really good at the meta, like, you know, and we realized that, well, in finals, you know, we actually played pretty well. So I'm saying that now so that you understand like a kind of like running level of frustration over the months leading up to champs, right? So that happens. Champs happens. Champs goes, well, could have gone better. So champs ends and I come home and think about it, and the conversations that I start to have with people weirdly turn to being conversations about Apex, like the game in and of itself. So before I even spoke to LG management, I had heard a rumor that the Apex partner program was being canceled. For anyone that doesn't know, the Apex org partner program was a stipend that ALGS gave an org for the calendar year to help subsidize salaries, running costs of the team, stuff like that. So most orgs in Apex have come to maybe not expect that money, but they rely on it in a way for what they had previously had set up the years prior. So when they completely cut that funding, which was a significant amount, that overall completely fried the scene when it comes to like, so the easiest way to like visualize that is like individual players' salaries, but the bigger implication is the overall cost a team or the overall budget an organization has for a team. And although the salaries for the players are lower, the budget is lower. So that means it's harder to have a coach and an analyst. It's hard. The already pretty low salaries for those roles have to get lower. Not a fun thing. So that sucks. But you know, that's life. That's reality. So, but that was like the first step of me thinking, like, I start to talk with people about teaming, and you know, I don't really think I don't know. I'm not going to say like exactly the teams that I was considering and who I was talking with about stuff, but you know, yeah, it was probably about like 3 teams they were in the running for. One of the teams I was talking to, like, we're going to go to another org, and then one of the players decided to potentially come back to play with me at the very end. That was the thing I mentioned in Discord. But the important thing to know is like when I wrote that Discord message, I truly just like wrote it up real quick as like a list of current events that had just happened, and not like my official statement for not playing, if that makes sense. Like I was gonna actually come on stream and like give like a very like in-depth talk about things, but one thing led to another. So the Discord message that was supposed to just kind of be like a community message turned out to be like the temporary temporary official statement, and that backfired completely. But
any primers?
Who cares? Everything I said and that's true, but you know, if you guys don't, like, for the people in Apex community who aren't like in our community, when it comes to like being in Discord, knowing that I play poker occasionally, knowing I'm really into finance and stuff, like that message may have come across like very weird. So it was also really misleading. Some people interpreted that significantly different than I intended. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so back to the timeline. So champs ends, I start to talk, and I'm like, all right, Apex is cutting salaries for no reason other than the the stipend that the orgs got was $100,000. So $100,000 per year to help orgs pay for anything involving competing in Apex. Not 100,000 per player, but 100,000 total. So that goes. But yeah, so like ideally we live in a world of esports where like Apex doesn't have to do that, because it is not sustainable from a business standpoint to have to like pay that as well as run the league. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's almost like Apex is trying to cut costs this year to try to find a more viable solution path to ROI, and if that doesn't happen, oh boy, we'll get to that later. So that happens. And then the conversation I have with somebody else is referencing Apex in year 6. And once again, due to the Discord message and not me actually verbalizing it and explaining it, I needed to explain the Discord message, right? So in the message, it says that ALGS year 6 is to be canceled or extremely likely to be. The disconnect between that message and the reality is when I say ALGS, I don't mean Apex Esports in general. I'm talking about the EA subsidized Apex Legends Global Series, but in year 6, that might not be a thing anymore in place of something else that would facilitate Apex Esports. So that's where people are mistaken.
Any
At face value,
primers?
people think without explanation, you wouldn't really know that's coming. Apex Esports is bigger than just ALGS. I'll make that clear. So what I was trying to say is ALGS, the EA subsidized league, may not be existing, but something else might be coming. Wink, wink. There were plenty of people that picked up on that, especially if you've heard rumors over the years of some things, especially after EWC. So there were definitely plenty of people that picked up on that, but without clarification, I can understand why people took that at face value, that year 6 like was fully canceled. But anyway, so in the moment, I'm being told, hey, year 6 is going to look significantly different. Salaries are being drastically reduced. And on top of that, Apex Legends lands are now, it's like a 60 to 80 team open format that significantly reduces the importance of like online play. The open is 160, the land is 80. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, I mean, honestly, that sounds kind of cool, not gonna lie. But all right, but to be honest with you, that sounded a little weird. So usual business model and success model for esports that are going into their more mature years, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, is, at least in my opinion, is shrinking the competitive scene to strictly quality and building everything you can to boost it up. For example, most games try doing that through franchising. Literally suck all the fat out of the esports scene, all the bad teams, all the bad players, franchise it, get the best teams, the best stuff, go all in on comp. Or a system like Counter-Strike where the game starts to like build around it competitively and there's like stuff like that. So that was like the model of esports I thought would work out well, like shrinking the esports scene down to just like the bread and butter of like the best teams and then building up around that. But Apex went for a different route, which was completely bloating the entire scene and making it like open esports. I don't know about that one. But Apex also announced that they're no longer paying for hotels or transportation or anything like that, or maybe flights there. But Apex is trying to cut costs in every way possible this year. It's almost like they're trying to prove something to the higher ups that they can make it possible without having to spend money so that they don't have to cancel it for your sake. The reality is a lot of teams are not going to be able to afford to go without that funding. And now they're not going to be a lot of orgs in Apex that are able to spend a lot of money because without the partner program, it just seemed like the perfect storm of issues that I didn't want to have to deal with. Ask yourself this. Are you and your 2 teammates who placed 139th in the open qualifiers to come out to a LAN in London willing to spend $3,000 to $4,000 all in for everybody to fly out and get absolutely fucking gangbanged and 140th with 0 prize money and fly home? You know? I don't know if very many people are going to be doing that. No, you don't have to pay for the flight. The flights are still paid for by EA, by the way, just the hotel and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of those were the decisions made by Respawn, EA, whoever it is, that I did not agree with. So that's what caused like the beginning of like, hey, maybe I don't want to play anymore because I don't agree with the direction the game is taking in both a competitive sense, but also what might happen in year 6. All right, so let me read through this Discord message real quick. Listen up, everyone. In case you haven't missed it, I have announced my year 5 plans. I've spent the better part of 2 weeks negotiations and talks with orgs and players for the unfortunate reality saying that it was no longer financially viable for me. A lot of people took that message as like the unfortunate reality saying that Apex is no longer financially viable for me. So I'm not going to lie, that message could be misconstrued easily from my original goal, which was the reality is for me, I have just significant opportunity in my life to make 10x 5, 10, 15x what I was making playing Apex from a strictly salary esports earnings point of view. It was not the opposite of that, which some people took at this, which is I cannot make my life work with the money that they are offering me in Apex now with the reduced salaries. Does that make sense? But I can understand how people got that one mixed up. I should have clarified that more. But once again, this message was supposed to just be kind of like a close to my chest, like Dream Team Discord message, and I was going to explain it on Discord, or excuse me, on Twitch. But I'll explain. The partner program with organizations which subsidize part of team salaries is fully removed this year, which has created a huge pay disparity to years prior. We already spoke on that, but the $100,000 stipend that ALGS was giving the partner orgs was removed. Sadly, this news was coupled with the rumor, not a rumor, the ALGS Year 6 is canceled. Once again, I do not know for 100%, but I have been told by multiple credible sources throughout the years of Apex that the likelihood that the ALGS is the league for Year 6 is extremely unlikely. Now, people took this, and I should have clarified this a little bit more, but just because ALGS Year 6 is canceled does not mean that there is not going to be Apex esports in Year 6. That is rumored to look significantly different than what we're doing now. Important clarification point there. Apex is no longer financially viable for me, not because I wouldn't be able to make it work with the money, but because I have significant opportunity elsewhere. And ALGS Year 6 is canceled. Sure, ALGS may be canceled, the league of EA, but maybe Apex Legends esports would begin to look different. This created a situation in which pay and org support was declining, the commitment to continue the esport was abandoned, and a bunch of other behind-the-scenes stuff that I can't speak about. Let's just say that there's a rumor going on that ALGS was fishing offers to potentially sell the league out, which may come to fruition for Year 6. Anyways, now, given the reality, I stopped pursuing the 3 different rosters I had entertained, mostly spread the word to the person that I'm very, at least taking a break to see how things shake out. I was actually very surprised with how many people I told that it wasn't leaked that I was taking a break. 2 days ago, I got approached by a top 5 player in the game who's interested in still creating a team. So like without context, I can understand this comment being taken out of proportion as well. So purpose for me writing this was to underline like my decision making being thorough. There were a couple different rosters I was considering, but then at the very end, I'm going to actually wait on that because I don't want to step on, some things haven't been announced yet that I don't want to give people I don't want to ruin other people's announcements. Let's just say it came down to the very end of the wire and I had the opportunity to play on a great team and I still decided to not play. If you've spent the last 5 years of your life hating me in Apex and everything that I've done, then I can understand people taking that message incorrectly. But for the people in Discord, I'm sure the reason for me writing that was that, the opportunity was there and I still made this decision to kind of emphasize it. Also, potentially broaden the scope of stream to new things. I made more money in poker last night and the offered salary of the next 12 months combined of ALGS. All right, so this is Apex salary for a year for your average player. This is Apex salary for me, usually. This is how much I used to make, and this is how much I made in poker in one game. So, there's levels to this shit, guys.
Hey guys, yes, I watched the Sweet stream. You're welcome here. You can, come watch my stream. If you guys want me to be as rich as Sweet, stay here and watch the ads. Thank you very much. I'm just kidding. But Sweet makes a lot more. From Apex, I made a lot more, but from his outside stuff, he's up there. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like Sweet. People he does carry himself in a certain way that can come across as unlikable, but I will always respect Sweet because of mainly just Apex based stuff, just how good he was at Apex. I don't really care what he does himself and how he carries himself. Sweet is also a troll. I've known Sweet since H1Z1 days, so more than 6 years. Yeah, look. It was 8 years ago. And he was actually he was one of the best Apex H1Z1 players when we played. Oh yeah, if I wasn't able to play with Zero after TSM, I was going to play with Sweet, yes. Well, that was one of the main reasons Sweet understands this. That was one of the main reasons why I'd rather play with Zero than Sweet, because I knew what Sweet was doing outside the game and how he was making money outside the game and what he was doing, about his primary income, what he enjoyed to do, and blah 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 blah. So when you associate yourself with someone that doesn't make Apex their number one priority completely in a lot of aspects, when your priority is Apex number one, you'll have problems, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely fine. But that was one of the main reasons why I rather play with Zero. Well, Sweet likes to Sweet lives in Vegas. He day trades. He gambles or plays poker, whatever you want to call it. At the moment, I don't know. If I was in his shoes and I was doing what he was doing, I would do the same thing that he did. I would definitely do the same exact thing, probably. Well, I don't know. I feel like I would, but I wouldn't, because I feel like I would get bored, but I don't know. But I feel like if I was in his position, I don't blame him for what he's doing at all. Like, he found other ways of making money a lot better, a lot more, without having to like mentally torture himself in a way, you know? He has a lot more free time, so he's in the end game. He's in the end game, he's in his 20s, living life.